Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We're running out of time, but I'd like to, as a moderator, I know my duties. I need to serve the discussion, and also I have to make the presentation conversational, right? So first of all, I'd like to introduce myself first. I'm Danny Chow, one of the adjunct professors to the CUHK and also the HK University on the MBA program. At the same time, I'm also a full-time practitioner in educational services, financial management, and overseas property investment in the ASEAN country. And in fact, I've been very actively involved in the scenario of Philippines. I'm buying some units for my Airbnb operations. So much so for my own introduction. On my left side, Mr. Raymond Tan, okay, is the CEO of the Luntai Holding Company. And then on the other side is Mr. Cherry Chen. He's also chairman of the Yi Supply Chain and also the director of the Lazada Group. And then on the very far end is Mr. Cousin Kwong. He's really in the halal trading, right? And then he is the group director of MCH company. So this is some sort of research I have done on my own really. Okay? And I'd like to let you know that the way we're going to present about 30 to 45 minutes session, I'd like to ask each of our distinguished speakers to give about 5 to 10 minutes of their group involvement in the ASEAN country. Okay? At the same time, each one have finished the introduction on the involvement in the ASEAN countries, and then I would like to ask them to share about their view on the market overview of the ASEAN country and Hong Kong scenario. Because for the first panel discussion, we have invited our government official to done a lot of research and also sharing on it. And now here I will ask our business practitioner to share their view on the market economy and also the market overview of the ASEAN countries. So without further delay, I will pass my mic, okay, my microphone to Mr. Raymond Tan for him to make some introduction.
Thank you. I would make the first promise. It's going to be 5, not 10 minutes presentation. This is the vision of my company. You know, in today's environment, it is so difficult to be sustainable. So the vision of our company is, you can see over here, sustainable shared success through reinvention. So everything that we do, we'd like it to be sustainable, and we want to make sure that we share our success with our 5 key partners over there, our customer, people, our suppliers, our communities, and our shareholders. But most important, we need to reinvent ourselves all the time. So this is our very, very simple vision. Can you go to the next slide? I'm definitely an ASEAN businessman. Luntai is a Hong Kong company, but we have 35,000 people. In China plus 4 different ASEAN countries, Philippines, Indonesia, Vietnam, and Cambodia. I still remember about 10 years ago when we had 20,000 people, 15,000 was in China. And now today I have less than 7,000 people in China. We have 5,000 people in the Philippines 10 years ago. We have close to 20,000 in the Philippines. I'm sure that you're very happy, right? And also we have about 10,000 people in Indonesia, Cambodia, and Vietnam. We produce about, I can't believe, about 10 to 12 million units of product a month. Our key customers are like, Coach, Michael Kors, Adidas, Uniqlo, and Ralph Lauren. For the ladies, I hate to disappoint you, okay? Everything that you buy at those brands divided by 10 or 20, that's how much I sell to my customers, okay? My next slide, I only have 4, right? So I'm down to my second half of my presentation. This is actually the advantage of backwardness. Yes, it's true. ASEAN country has been behind with technology. and actually one of the questions earlier addressed to Secretary Lopez about Philippines, no investment. I guess, you know, I'm one of the few who went to the Philippines. Well, it wasn't me. My great-grandfather went there 100 years ago. So we kind of like continue with his legacy there. We have a long history in the Philippines. That's why we now have close to 20,000 people there. But the reason why I say this is actually we took advantage of the backwardness because Philippines actually do not have fabric mill. Therefore, our customer continue to ask us to give them cheaper product faster. And when they say faster, we used to have 4 to 6 months lead time. Adidas now requests us to have 30 days lead time. From the time they give us the order without any fabric commitment until we ship them the goods. So how do you deal with this kind of request? Because there's no fabric mill in the country, so we have to be very, very creative. We have to reinvent ourselves. So we're building a factory of the future. Beautiful island of Cebu, Philippines. We are investing into waterless dry dye technology and plus a smart factory so that we could actually produce our fabric into different color, different prints, and then make them within 30 days to meet our customers' requirement. So sometimes it's actually not too bad to go to a country where there's no supply chain and there's no backwardness. Yeah, 1 minute. I'll go to my last slide. Because I promised 5, right? XO is not the drink that we drink. XO means extraordinary. There's a beautiful story again related to Philippines. I learned this from 2 street kids in the Philippines. I'm the chairman also of Tuloy Foundation. In the Philippines, we have 1,200 street kids. And I learned from 2 of them. I asked them, they're so beautiful. They're so extraordinary. And when I asked them, you know, tell me one thing that you learned from Tuloy that when you get out and you apply every day. And one of them told me, look, at Tuloy, we learn how to do our ordinary job every day extraordinarily well. So I said, yes. I start to imagine if every single worker of mine go to work with that attitude every day, I will have a beautiful operation, right? So we came up with the term BXO Daily. And if you look at that slide, which you could not see, it says XO Kids. One of our global community projects is to take care of street kids, all the countries and cities that we go to, and we use the terminology XO, extra care for our people, extra care for our environment. But I have to say that doing business in the ASEAN country, one of the most important things is you have to respect the local culture, you have to train the local people, you have to be committed to take care of the environment, and you have to be committed to take care of the community. Thank you.
Well, this presentation is a fantastic one. Now we can realize, you know, a company is not just making money or profit, but also socially conscious, and they fulfill this kind of corporate social responsibilities. And then I find out, you know, Mr. Raymond Tan has been the chairman of 2 foundation groups. So it's a very interesting one. We would like to know more later on, okay? And I'd like to pass this time slot to Mr. Terry Chang. He is, he's related to e-commerce and supply chain. And in fact, yesterday, I bumped into one of your business colleagues, Willis Ross. And he was one of the forum there. And they are now involved in this kind of e-commerce and supply chain, and I want him to share about his company and also his involvement in the ASEAN country.
So first of all, E-Commerce Supply Chain Association is the first and only one we set up this year. We are tailored for the top executive who are working in the e-commerce industry and focus on supply chain management. And also Lazada, we are the leading e-commerce marketplace in Southeast Asia. We serve 6 key countries, namely Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Vietnam, and Thailand. Yeah. Actually, last year we acquired by Alibaba Group. So strictly speaking, we belong to Alibaba Group. Yeah. So first of all, I want to share some mega trends about e-commerce. First of all, it's called cross-border omni-channel development. According to some research, cross-border e-commerce is talking about 4 to 5 times much larger than local e-commerce growth. Secondly, it's a retail ecosystem evolution. In the past, we are talking about local products to local people. But right now, we can see some evolution. That means worldwide product to worldwide people. Yeah. Thirdly, it's about supply chain. We see a lot of innovation and cooperation along the whole supply chain. Yeah. Next slide. Okay. So, when people think about e-commerce, most of the time we think about China, but for us, we believe Southeast Asia is a very promising, one of the leading e-commerce, highest potential area and market in the next 5 to 10 years. Let me share with you some reasons from 3 aspects. First of all, the macro environment. We can see the ASEAN GDP growth is about 5 to 6% per annum. Right now, through 2020, it's one of the highest in the world. Secondly, the GDP capital over there is getting higher and higher. Thirdly, we see a lot of middle class over there. They have a very high buying power. The second thing is internet adoption. Right now, we can see it's more than 40%. It's talking about 216 million internet users in Southeast Asia. It's very high. The third is about mobile population. In particular in Asian countries, they are very highly adopt the low-cost mobile phones. Yeah. And also, there's some figure. For example, if we look at the percentage of retail made online in Southeast Asia, right now, except Singapore is a little bit higher. We're talking about Singapore is 7 to 9%, something like that. All the other Asian countries is talking about less than 3%. Okay. When we compare with China or US, they are talking about over 10%. Okay. So what it tells us is the potential for e-commerce made online is very huge in Asian countries. Yeah. Next slide, please. So having said that, we all would like to develop the e-commerce market in Southeast Asia, but we do encounter lots of challenges right now. Okay. The first about the mindset. Yeah. I always tell people, for us, we work in the e-commerce market. No matter you have Alibaba, Lazada, or eBay, Amazon, we have a very different mindset compared to the traditional enterprises. I'll give you an example, illustrate this. We move very fast and we change very fast. Yeah. But when we emphasize customer experience, yeah. Basically we develop all the solutions, for example, logistic payment or seller or whatsoever. The ultimate goal is to help us to get more business, to achieve highest customer experience. The second thing is about the logistic. Logistic, not only for the road, for the port, also in particular for the custom clearance, and also the duty and tax. Right now, we found that for custom clearance is still quite subjective in Southeast Asia. Yeah, that's why we spend a lot of time to talk to the local custom to make it more objective, make it more standardized. And the other thing is about the value. You know, if under certain value, if you send something to the Asian countries, no duty and tax need to incur. But right now, the majority of the countries over there, the value is very low. That means, whenever you send something to Asian countries, that would incur duty and tax. Yeah. That's why we talk to the local government, the custom. We hope the value can increase. Actually, for example, in let's say Indonesia, in the past it's US 50, but in April this year they increased to US 100. What it means? What it means is the merchant can sell more into this Southeast Asian country without the need to incur duty and tax. Yeah. And the consumer over there can buy more, and also all the, for example, logistic company, they can ship more. It's a win-win situation. The third is some of the payment. You know, in Asian countries, the people over there are very favored about to have COD payment. Credit card is not that popular right now. That's why when we develop the logistic solution or the marketing solution whatsoever, we have to satisfy the COD payment requirement. It's very important. The fourth is information. It's about IT technology. Right now, we find that a lot of company over there, their IT technology is not that effective among their own company, and also between different companies. Yeah. That's why we spend a lot of time to link all the parties up, along the supply chain, to ensure the data is more transparent. You know, right now people are looking for real-time visibility. They would like to know where is the package anywhere, anytime. Yeah. The fifth, you can't see here. Okay, is the customer expectation. Right now, the customer expectation is getting higher and higher. I'll give you an example in this trade. In the past, we are talking about, for example, your shipment can be delivered in 2 to 3 days. No way right now. They're looking for 1 day, same day, or even higher, for example, where time definite, or 2 to 3 hours of time. Yeah. That make the e-commerce development to be more difficult, I can say. Yeah. But having said that, we see there are some changes right now over there. For example, the government is very supportive. When we, for example, for example, Lazada, I went to Southeast Asian countries, I talked to the government, I talked to the postal operators, I talked to the custom. They are very supportive. They are very supportive. And also we heard about Alibaba invest in Lazada because they would like to grow globally. They would like to sell the product in Taobao or Tmall through Lazada platform to Southeast Asia. And that's why I think we hope the local government can really work with us to tackle all this problem so that we can grow the market, not by organic growth, but actually we shape the rule. We shape the rule. For example, data and tax, something like that. We shape the rule so that we help to grow the e-commerce market in the Asian countries. Yeah, that's my sharing on time. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, from this presentation, we can see, Lazada has been trying to push the digitalization of the economy in ASEAN country. And we all know that, everybody's carrying a mobile phone. Everybody is using one touch. And in fact, this one touch means a lot to the world, right? And then today I learned a bit about the Islamic-related industry. Yeah, just from the government official from Indonesia, they talk about the trade in the halal. And then we have our guest speaker, Mr. Cousin Kwong, who is a specialist in the halal trade. And then we all understand that, the population of the ASEAN countries has reached more than 660 million. And out of which, we have 300 million which belong to Islamic-related ethnic groups. So without delay, I will ask Mr. Kwong, Cousin, to share about your trade and also your perspective.
首先多謝大家嘅嚟臨先，因為就我同大會講，喂，咁我講廣東話喎 ，O 唔 OK 啊？佢話唔緊要啦，我哋嗰個題目就係東盟同香港經貿合作，咁我係 serve 香港人噶嘛，係咁啊，佢話 OK 冇問題咁我。
Cousin 唔緊要 ，I'll help you to do the translation. SI.
Thank you. 咁就其實咧嚟到嘅時候咧就有好大沓紙要講㗎，要背書嘅。咁但係睇到原來唔係喎，咁多人對呢個下拉又咁有興趣。我唔係乜嘢 expert， 只不過咧就我係嚟自香港嘅公司大家集團。咁我哋只不過咧就係做咗幾個係有關下拉嘅生意嘅落地，我哋係已經做咗啦。就因為咧，如果講數據。講其他嘅話咧，咁今日嘅講者已經講得非常之好嘅。OK， 咁佢哋有政府嘅背景啦， 咁佢哋有大數據啦，咁就應該非常之唔錯嘅。
Well, what Cousin has just mentioned, basically the statistics be provided by our government officials, and then in fact, we know that halal trade is getting a lot of prominence and importance in the ASEAN country. And then basically he's more or less the first group of pioneers in this particular industry.
喺呢個東盟嘅背景底下咧，我想補充少少。其實下啦即係嗰個生意咧，就係關乎穆斯林。全球有接近20億嘅人口係穆斯林。咁即係話呢20億嘅人口嘅穆斯林咧，佢哋用嘅同埋食嘅，頭先佢哋講係其中一個食嘅用品，都要係需要呢個下拉認證。
Well, we understand, according to the statistics, we understand, basically the world population which belongs to the Islamic group has reached about 2 billion. And then what we have just presented by the government officials is only related to the food industry, let alone talking about other aspects. So we can realize this particular field is getting bigger and bigger.
所以點解佢會咁大呢？因為佢有20億人口，於是乎。而家佢每年嘅產值咧就差唔多超過6萬億美金，單係食品超過6000億美金。咁但係一直以嚟就我哋比較忽略，因為穆斯林嘅人口佢喺過往嗰個增長唔係太快。我哋做咗 research 喺2008年嘅時候咧，佢哋只係有12億。咁但係點解佢哋會增長得咁快咧？因為佢哋係唔需要節育生活嘅。咁同埋咧，佢哋嘅經濟起飛，所以個 demanding 就好大。
Well, the demand for this kind of halal food industry is growing a lot due to, well, basically there's no abortion in this ethnic group, so they like to have children, and the population is getting bigger and bigger, and these kind of raise their demand for the food, clothing, and other relating fields.
咁我講到好似好大咁，但係有咩證據咧？咁全球你哋知道咧，就飲品嘅公司可口可樂，食品嘅公司雀茶，零售最大嘅呢個麥當勞，佢哋嘅都做咗下啦認證。所以你去到中東又好，去到馬來西亞又好，去到印尼又好，你會睇到個可口可樂上邊會有一個清真嘅標誌，即係頭先我哋嗰位講者同你 show 咗唔同嘅國家嘅清真標誌。咁點解都要做咧？因為佢哋一見到佢哋會使用得、食用得放心。呢啲大集團全部都做晒。
Well, we all know those multinational companies like, for example, Coca-Cola, McDonald's. They've been seeking for the halal certification.
所以喺咁嘅前提底下咧。其實世界500強咧都好關注呢個市場。我哋成日講笑，如果你要做晒全球嘅生意，你冇呢個下拉 certification 你做唔到，因為全球係70億人口，唔好放棄呢20億嘅市場。OK， 如果你冇做到呢個下拉，你只可以做50億嘅市場，因為佢哋會 hesitate 你嘅產品。
Well, we have a worldwide population of more than 7 billion, right? And now among for the Islamic group, we have the 2 billion population, which is a market that you cannot ignore.
所以我哋集團又見到咁嘅情況咧，所以過去嗰幾年咧就做咗啲研究，咁就覺得呢個市場係非常之大。咁我落嚟有2個個案想同大家分享下。
Well, since the mind is so big, I'd like to share about our finding with 2 cases. But can we cut it short? Okay. Thank you.
好，咁我第一咧，我同大家講咧就係我哋係成功咁將雲南嘅咖啡豆賣咗去馬來西亞同中東。
Well, we successfully, transform all this coffee bean from Yunnan province to Malaysia.
因為如果你問佢哋點樣去做 trading， 佢哋係唔會話到俾你聽。點樣去將佢變成一個終端產品，佢哋唔會話俾你聽。因為咧，我哋係做生意嘅咧，係遇到好多困難。
Well, it's hard to tell you the secret. Basically, you better learn about certification halal.
所以第一 部分咧，好似而家咁樣，我哋喺雲南攞到啲豆之後咧，其實係一件事。如果你需要去加工，你第一你真係要攞佢嘅下拉認證，我哋已經攞咗。
So we need to get the certification for this coffee bean anyway.
當然啦，就唔係有乜嘢秘密嘅，因為佢哋唔同嘅國家有唔同嘅需求，所以睇你嘅買家。譬如印尼嘅買家，佢需要做自己嘅妹，佢馬來西亞需要做 Jackie 嘅認證，咁所以你做咗之後咧，然後咧所有嘅食品嘅條例都唔能夠放棄，做完之後咧要對準嗰啲買家，咁你就容易搞。咁相對香港人嚟講，因為唔係咁多人做嘛，咁所以你見到如果你香港做得到嘅話，生意咪好快有咯。我哋舊年做完呢個下拉認證，今年我已經出口緊。
Well, this is a market which grows at a rapid pace, but too many people ignore it. So we are the one to now focus in this particular industry.
第二個個案咧就係、我哋嘅國際清真網站，我哋有個國際清真網站叫伊夏拉.com。伊夏拉.com其實好簡單，其實係一個俾穆斯林可以做到國際貿易，同埋同一時間可以做到呢個終端產品。咁啲穆斯林點解要喺伊夏拉.com 嗰度買嘢，唔喺阿里巴巴咧？咁在座於有穆斯林嘅朋友就知道啦，係咪？佢哋因為希望佢嘅產品係真係有通過認證㗎嘛，所以佢唔會去阿里巴巴，唔希望喺阿里巴巴上面買到，希望喺呢度上面可以揾到佢自己想要嘅純清真產品。
So we celebrate ehalal.com, and we are helping the people from the Islamic countries to find their own halal certified food related services.
所以我哋其實個 business model 係非常簡單，就係、利用翻香港本身第一貿易自由，第二金融暢通，第三事實上係資訊發達。我哋係再重新喺我哋係香港公司，唔係咩大集團，唔係咩背景嘅公司，亦都唔需要有咩嘢其實技巧，就係、香港維立路俾我哋嘅優勢，我哋就可以做到㗎啦。我係100%嘅香港人。
Well, we are very simple, Hong Kong-based company, just enjoying the benefit of having financial freedom, press freedom, freedom of speech, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
所以非常歡迎各位大家一齊去開拓呢個市場，因為實在太大，我哋做唔晒，我哋大把資料大家可以 share。
So we like to explore this market with me. This is a big market, so maybe I think cousin can come in, right? I'll be the first one to sign up. But anyway, after all this presentation, we like to focus on our discussion here, because we're talking about the market overview, and then we have these three distinguished speakers, from the different perspective fields. And when we talk about the market overview, what would you like guys to think of? Number one, what are the challenges ahead? What is your perspective of this market economy in ASEAN countries? Well, I would like to ask Raymond to tap on this particular aspect, like what's your challenge ahead, or maybe your perspective about this particular block of countries.
Well, I'm in the manufacturing business, so I hire a lot of people and export a lot of products. Unfortunately, in the past, many, when I deal with brands, I always see that one brand go up, one brand go down. For as long as I do business with both brands, doesn't matter. Okay, but now I actually see all my customers go down at the same time. And I recently was interviewed by a newspaper. I told them, this concept of all these, little ants are eating up the big elephants. Now with the e-commerce technology, even my son can just tap into one platform to do print, one platform to do payment, one platform to do, logistics, and he can have his own business selling. And he sold 10,000 units of garment on his own last year without any overhead. I look at him and say that, wow, if there are 10,000 of you, you're a big competitor of my customer. So how do I service, this kind of a new market? And how do brands compete against this kind of new market? Which is, to be fair, is very, very difficult. And this is a challenge that I think almost all companies and all countries will face. We are in the manufacturing business, so one of the things that we have to deal besides facing our customer are also our workers. Because of social media, it is so easy for workers to get together and if you do something bad against them, they can get together very quickly. And in fact, some of my customers even required us to give them a phone number that they can call to our customer directly. Wow. Any single one of them. So I think one of the biggest challenge and for most companies nowadays is you really have to do things right. You can't take workers' right and humans' right lightly. You cannot make mistakes. You cannot break any law. Earlier, you know that I'm a big believer in supporting the community, and it is true. Politicians change. No one can guarantee what Secretary Lopez promised earlier will last for the next administration. But if you do the right community work, the community will protect you, no matter which politician come up. So I think, yes, the world changed. For me, just stick with the basic. If you stick with the basic and continue to ask yourself and reinvent yourself and willing to do it, I think we have a slight chance to survive.
Well, I totally concur with Raymond's statement. Today it's not easy to do manufacturing. You know, a couple of weeks ago I was in San Francisco. I can witness an e-commerce shop, you know, whereby they have a different design rated by all the internet users. And then they come up with one design, and then they have the workers do it, and everything is very transparent. So I think he's right. You cannot do something wrong because right now internet brings us closer and much more spiritualizations. Hey Terry, what do you think about your logistic area? Like, how do you think about? You just mentioned about the excise tax, the issue, and how do you see the development with the e-commerce in ASEAN countries, particularly with the background that they might have some less developed telecommunication network?
Well, I think it's a very good question. Okay, when we look at this kind of supply chain management or development, we can see that right now the development of the supply chain or logistics cannot really catch up with the development of the e-commerce. That's why you can see, for example, Lazada or even Amazon, we develop our own supply chain infrastructure. Something like warehouse for fulfillment, delivery team, delivery truck. But having said that, we do make use of a lot of partners, 3PL, to support us. I give you an example. In particular, in Southeast Asia, it's very fragmentation, I can say. That means every country is very unique. Yeah. For example, in Indonesia, it's more than 15,000 islands in Indonesia. So how can you imagine to do the last mile delivery? Yeah. Even some 3PL company, they are good at, let's say, Java area. Some the others. For example, in Malaysia, some are good at East Malaysia or West Malaysia. That's why we have to make use, we have to really understand the situation, and then we have to really try to develop a kind of ecosystem or partnership ecosystem to do so. And, as far as I understand, a lot of traditional manufacturing, they also very develop the e-commerce. Yeah. But also, when we encounter, I think right now the most challenging, as I mentioned earlier, I'll give you an example, industry is the supply chain. I'll give you an example. Back in April, Indonesia, they have a new custom policy. They increased the value from US 50 to 100. That means below US 100, no duty and tax is incurred. So there are lots of, they develop a lot of system at the back end, something like that. But don't know why, it's not that ready. That's why not only us, a lot of e-commerce players, lots of our shipment are stuck at the customer.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why we're not talking about a few days, we're talking about a few weeks. That is very, it's hard for us to achieve customer expectation. Because for e-commerce, we have some promise about the delivery time to our consumers. If we break this promise, we have to incur some penalties. Yeah, that's why I think what we encounter is the supply chain, the logistics to Southeast Asia. Yeah.
So basically, it's not only the tax system, but also the cultural aspect, political aspect that we have to consider when we do this kind of e-commerce. If not, let alone talk about the traditional manufacturing side, right? Well, during the time, because we are running out of time, and I'm very concerned with time too. And then I like to I'd like to float this time slot to the floor. Regarding this kind of a market overview, after listening to all these speakers sharing, I would like to enter the whole floor. What sort of question you have in mind? Yes, Rex. Can somebody pass the microphone to our Rex here?
My name is Rex Aguado. I'm the chairman of the Philippine Association of Hong Kong. We are one of the supporting organizations, so I'm going to be very greedy with my questions. I'm going to have 3 questions actually. One's been touched on by Raymond. The first one, they all involve mobility. The first one, of course, is capital. I'm just wondering, there used to be a lot of talk about single currency for ASEAN, which is a big thing in the EU. I'm just wondering if this is now obsolete in ASEAN, because we now have financial technology for moving capital around. What's your opinion about having a single currency in ASEAN? Is it relevant still, or should we just ignore it and move on and use fintech for this? Second one is mobility for people. Have you had any problems moving your managers around the region? Is it challenging to move one person from Singapore to the Philippines to Hong Kong? And third one, of course, is, you've touched on this one, is politics. ASEAN is very dynamic, and the politics is much, much more dynamic than anywhere else in the world. So I'm just wondering, how do you cope with the challenges of having a very dynamic political system in the region? Thank you.
Well, I'm in 4 out of the 10 ASEAN countries. In fact, I also do business in Thailand as well. So I'm in 5 of them. The one currency, for me, I think the ASEAN as a bloc to negotiate collectively is even more important than the one currency. Because, at the end of the day, the currency fluctuation is not our biggest challenge. Our biggest challenge is, one country would have a different trade agreement with, one major developing country versus another. And then sometimes, even just the top of having TPP, then our customer force us to leave China, go to Vietnam, and make all the investment, and after that, one day TPP is gone. Then our customer say, wait, forget about TPP, now you can go back to China. And we can't just open and shut down factory, left and right. But if there is a level playing field that all the ASEAN countries would enjoy together, I think that is more important than the one currency, because I do not see that one currency providing a more stable environment for especially manufacturing business. As far as moving people around, look, I remember I recently brought my management team out for a meeting, and I have leadership from 11 different countries out of 29 of my key executives. And when I look around, many of them are actually from ASEAN. But Philippines has a very big advantage because of your English-speaking ability, that they can move around. In today's environment, I have to say that people are more used to travel around, and we see more and more European coming to Hong Kong. I just learned that I think French is actually exporting a lot of people to Hong Kong now. We have a very big French community.
It's second to the English-speaking group now.
Yes, yeah, and so I think as we go into this new environment, people do not mind to travel. I mean, I travel every week. Sometimes I wake up, I don't even know which hotel I'm staying at. I get mixed up with my hotel rooms, and I have colleagues over here that they move out of Hong Kong. And I've also Filipino colleague also moved from Philippines to Cambodia to run our factory. So I do not think it is a problem. As far as political, yes, it is true. we have to deal with different political systems in different countries. But overall, because of the transparency in all the countries, each country is improving. That's how I feel. And you cannot hide anymore. Anything you do, in the next second, people know, right? So I think the new technology is forcing everyone to be honest because of transparency. That you cannot stop, which is a good thing for doing business. I was once interviewed at Bataan. I opened my mouth and said that one of the things that I look for is clean government. Then the reporter asked me, so do you think Philippines government is clean? I said that, you know what, it takes two to be corrupted. If I don't give, there's no corruption. So for as long as you are clean, why would you care about the other side? And I think a better company will continue to do well if they become a good corporate citizen. Just ignore the changing political environment because that's not something we could control, right? You can control yourself.
Yes, Jerry?
Yeah, I think respond to your second question about people, I would like to say is a global mindset with local knowledge. Okay. We, in particular for Asian countries, we really need to have local people to deal with the local issues, whether it is government, custom, or post operators. Because of the culture, of the knowledge locally. But having said that, we find it is, even if it is in parallel, it is also important to have a global mindset, in particular for e-commerce. Because we find that people over there, they still have room to improve about the e-commerce knowledge. And also what to bring up upon is, as I mentioned, the mindset of the e-commerce people is quite different compared to the traditional enterprises. But as far as I understand, a lot of companies, in particular for the traditional enterprises or manufacturing, they would like to develop e-commerce. But most of the time, they will make use of their own team rather than employ someone from external or from e-commerce company. And I believe it is important for those companies to have some people have the experience of e-commerce, go inside the company, give them some new insight, and then in order to develop the e-commerce. Because in terms of the speed, in terms of the experience, is quite totally different.
Well, here I'd like to elaborate on this kind of freedom of entry or exit, Like when I started to invest in Manila 2 years ago, basically it was stimulated by one of my friends who's American, and he used to work for JP Morgan, and also some Indian friend. And then we did some research, then we find out, okay, in Philippines we're enjoying about a 6 to 7%, GDP growth rate. Then we started to make some investment. And then when we go there, then I find out it's visa-free for Hong Kong people. And then, I was so surprised, even I want to bring some of my Chinese friends to Philippines. I was told earlier on, it might take you 14 days to do the visa. Then I called the Philippine consulate, they say, no, Danny, only 2 days. That helps a lot. So what it means is the world is changing because we come into an era of a globalizing economy. And in fact, as an ASEAN country, as an ASEAN bloc, we all know that there's a lot of opportunities, and the government are very helpful to abolish these kind of barriers too. So one or two questions for you guys, because we are now reaching at 5:45. Is there any other question here? Oh yes.
Hello.
It's okay. You heard.
Hello. Sorry. Hello, I'm Lily Lee from Mega Capital, the business manager, and I have two questions. The first question is for Mr. Kasim Kwok. So you mentioned about the halal business. So now people is realizing that the halal business is a very huge blue sea market. And my question is that how Hong Kong, especially Hong Kong companies, can get involved in the halal business, and how ehalal.com, as you mentioned, can connect the companies to the global buyers. And my second question is for Mr. Terry. Terry Chen. And you mentioned about it's a lot of time in IT support to linking the supply chains to make the data more transparent. Can you explain more about this part? Thank you.
I'll do the SI for you.
OK，其實咧就做呢個清真嘅生意係好簡單嘅，即係大家唔好諗到太複雜。因為咧就基本上咧佢唔需要你去投資啲乜嘢，包括廠房或者機器，佢最主要係好似一個 ISO 9000咁，你攞咗個 certificate， 跟住然後咧就好多嘢就可以展開嘅咁唔想各位嘅企業家或者朋友佢哋有啲誤會，其實佢嘅認證方面係同 ISO 9000差唔多有70%係相似嘅。
Well, halal business is not as complicated as you think. Basically, it's very similar to ISO 9000. So basically, you need some certification. There's some sort of entity that you can go by, right? Okay. Terry.
Well, thank you for the question. Very good question. Okay. According to some research, as I mentioned, real-time visibility is the key, or one of the key the consumer would like to have right now in the e-commerce supply chain. Okay. But how can we do that? Is along the supply chain, there's a very few players in the market. They can do all the things. I'll give an example. Start from the first mile pickup, line haul, custom clearance, last mile delivery. That's why a lot of companies they need to work together along the whole supply chain. For example, some companies specialize in the first mile pickup. Let's say in China, some do the line haul, some do the custom clearance, some local company do the last mile delivery. Okay, because of this, we have to link through the IT technology, link all the information together. But having said that, people talk about API, and something like that. But I can say, before we do the API, we have to make sure the business rule is correct. Otherwise, any kind of information technology is not that useful. I'll give you an example. What I mean by right business rule is, for example, I need to choose the right partner to pick up the packages in the origin, low cost, more efficient, something like that. Same as line haul, same as custom clearance, same as the last mile delivery. We have to make sure we choose the right partner so that we deliver the right package to the right place through the right partners. Yeah. But what we encountered so far in Southeast Asia is, for each individual company, their own IT system is not that efficient. Besides, the linkage between different companies as well not that efficient. Yeah. That's why most of the time, I give an example. We link up a lot of partners through API, and then we assume, okay, should be 100% visibility, no way, never. We don't know the reason. Yes, maybe it's 80, 90 something. Yeah, that's why we always need to have backup plan. Also, we heard about a lot of IoT right now, Internet of Things. We believe it is very important in the near future. I'll show you why the reason. The main purpose of the IoT is to link all the parties along the supply chain together.
Build a community.
Yeah, kind of ecosystem to link all the parties all along the supply chain. Okay, I'll give you an example why we have to do this. Imagine you buy this machine, for example, okay, and then if you are the consumer, you start to use it, okay. If we have the IoT technology, we link all this together, it no longer requires you as a consumer to tell me, the merchant, hey, sorry, my machine didn't work, I need to prepare. But if we link all this information together, all the parties, and then we can proactively know, hey, Mr. Customer, Miss Customer, I know your machine didn't work. Then I send another one to you. Instead, you raise up to me. That's what we are looking for in the near future, through the IoT technology. Through this, we can achieve better customer experience. Kind of predictive selling, something like that, the concept, logic behind.
The big data you're talking about.
Yeah, we're talking about big data, big data.
Well, I have to draw close here because we are running out of time. And basically, you know, doing a business is just like a marriage. You have to choose the right partner, doing the right linkage. Do you agree? Okay, thanks to all these distinguished speakers and for all your presence here. But and then I have to draw a close, and then I understand that we have to stand up here to receive some memento and some pictures, right? So let's all stand up. Thanks for your patience and your presence and your support here. Thank you. I'm MC.
Please can I invite again the Consulate General of Bernadita and Alex Mendigat to present the certificates of appreciation.